Yeah! Get up!
What is up, everybody? It is May, and we had some spectacular weather here. Usually, when it comes to May, roundabouts where I live in Northern California, it's starting to feel like summer already, and you know, especially when you're coming off some pretty mild weather for spring, you know, in the 60s and the lower 70s. It tends to drop right into the 90s and like the upper 80s, and it's miserable. But we've had some really nice weather lately, and I don't want to bore you with nice weather, but with nice weather comes some pretty cool events outdoors. A couple weeks ago we went to bike night at Rockland Harley Davidson, and more recently this past weekend here in historic downtown Woodland, which is my hometown. If any of you haven't guessed that yet, then now you know. I've passed probably plenty of signs that say Woodland on them, so if you were really looking, I mean, if you could see right here, there's a sign here that says historic downtown Woodland right in this direction, and that's where we're headed, because that was the home of the event that we just attended this past weekend. Took out the girls while my wife was attending a funeral, and took the girls out there, got them a snow cone, and just enjoyed the lovely May weather in historic downtown Woodland. Now, this event called Back to the Streets, this event was full. I mean, I'll tell you right now, there was at least 4 full city blocks of classic cars, you know, cars that are originals. We had restorations, lowriders. We had a couple, you know, raised old Broncos, a Jeep. There was a army vehicle out there, like a army cargo tower that can tow up to 10 tons that my daughter was lucky enough to hop up into and check out from the inside, and that was really cool. I mean, it didn't look like much, but when you got down to it, it was a spectacular piece of machinery. But there was all kinds of stuff up and down historic Main Street here in my hometown. At any rate, I'm going to pop up some video for you right here so you can check out some of my favorite cars. I took a lot of video, and I'll try and post as many as I can here, because if you're watching this video, you're likely interested in classic cars, like I am. And I'll pop that video for you right now, and then we'll talk about it on the other end.
You ladies want to get in it?
Kiwi does.
You sure?
Kiwi, you do, huh?
Europe. That's not a country. England. No. Does that sound like an English word to you?
Yeah, for sure. You must know your son.
Gorgeous.
Oh, everything. They have blue lights. Dad, look at that car.
I know you're not fishing for compliments, but I like it. Thank you.
Back it up. So I bought this frame thing, and then I had one of those lithium starter batteries. So I made a little.
It's for sale. What, you want to buy it, Kiwi? What? Inception.
I've been doing it because it reminds me of the track.
This one doesn't even fit my picture. All right, so that was the event. Just some of the highlights of some of the really beautiful pieces of machinery that were here on Main Street here in historic downtown. And I just love that my city puts on events like this. It attracts people to the city. It brings in outside business from the surrounding regions, and it was just really well done. Really impressed. And it harkens me back to when I was a kid. They had an event called Cruise Night, which was basically the same thing. There'd be a period where everyone would park their vehicles and you could look at them, but for the most part, Cruise Night was all about the cars driving by. And what I liked about Cruise Night was that you didn't just get to look at the cars, you got to hear them as they roll down the street. And if you know anything about me, I like the sound of exhaust pipes and header pipes. And my dad had an old 56 Chevy pickup that had header pipes on it, and I just loved riding in that thing. I loved and I loved that you could hear my dad when he was coming home from like half a mile away. You're like, oh, Dad's coming. I loved that. And maybe that's the nostalgia of knowing when Dad was coming home when I was a kid. It was is what really attracts me to the noise, and I just love it. So anyway, my dad and I, we used to go to Cruise Night together, and we used to go to car shows around in the surrounding areas. I remember we used to go to one in Lodi, which is not far from here. And it's the nostalgia, it's the impressiveness, and the heart and the care that I know goes into restoring these cars or keeping them up to make them look the way they do. And I admire it. I'm impressed by it always, and it's something that I could never do. So when I see other people do it, I love taking time to admire it. But guys, that's all I got for you today. It was a little review of that event, and also to let you see some of those cars that we checked out there on the weekend. But guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up down there, which is the like button. Also, if you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button, which will pop up right over here. And I'll also throw up some link to some other videos over here in this direction, so you can go right to those if you'd like. Guys, if you are riding, be safe, and if you're not riding, get riding. This is that one guy, and I'm out.